All right. All right. No, just a little intro, segue. Just a little disclaimer before we start. We're back on the YouTube after transitioning to another platform because just a little update. Didn't know that the platform we switched to had a upload limit, and I quickly exceeded that upload limit. Not gonna name any names of the platform, but that really sucks. At least with YouTube, um, you know, unlimited uploads, but at the same time, with this being mainly a podcast, YouTube's being for video, that's a little bit of a paradoxical conflict we have ourselves there. So yeah, everything that happened on the previous platform kind of it's like just a little brief dip into that. Thought it was gonna be more permanent, but nope. I don't have the $100 to have a yearly subscription. So because I'm a student, and if I'm a student, therefore I'm broke. So yeah. So yeah, we're back on YouTube. Gonna continue the series that I have planned. Um, Hopefully we'll get the IB reflection series up there soon. But as of now, this is a different one. So yeah, before we get into the main podcast, the main video, yeah, I just wanted to say that. Look forward to more content here on YouTube. Um, Please, yes, yes, please do. Or not, it's a free country for some people. Um, and yeah, stay tuned for more content. Hope you like the the more consistent stuff will be churning out more often, though it might come at a lack, not really lack, but like a certain different format because editing clips and editing the whole format that we had takes time. So I'm gonna, yeah, we're gonna kind of have to ease up on that, especially with all our assessments and our stuff as students. So yeah, with that, thank you again, and let's get on with the video or the podcast. Yes. Okay. Hello, audience. Hello to whoever's listening. Um, a very much delayed video, really delayed. But it's already Feb. But who cares? This is our channel, so we do what we want. It is my top 10 movies, or my 10 favorite movies of last year. I feel like the industry went through a really radical shift in terms of production and filming and all those things, given the pandemic situation. But even with movies like French Dispatch, Tenet, for from where I'm from, um, Kingsman, Furious Nine, and all those other that got delayed, Black Widow. A lot of other movies got delayed. It let a lot of other movies shine, and I think they did this past year, 2020. And I'll be talking about some of them with you. These are my favorites. I recommend all of them, kind of all the different styles. I'm not saying they're the 10 best because what do I know? I'm a student, but um, I watched and read enough of, and I'm really interested in film in general to at least have a pretty good opinion on this. So yeah. Anyways, let's go to number 10 on my list, and it is Pieces of a Woman, directed by Cornel Monjuksko, and starring Vanessa Kirby and Shia LaBeouf, Molly Parker, Sarah Snook, all those people. Benny Safdie is also here. Half of one half of the Safdie brothers makes an appearance here, and this is a really good movie. In terms of pure performances, I feel like Vanessa Kirby is on the way to a lot of awards. The content is very, very not really dark, but very intense, especially with kind of the whole premise being about a mother losing her child after birth, I believe, and all those things. Very intense. Not really the easiest watch, but they pulled it off really well here. That nearly 28-minute long scene of the birth, or just that whole build up to that process, just like obviously there were cuts, but like they filmed it in a way that it was just one whole experience. That was a very nice cinematic element that they put into there. Very nice cinematic touch. Shia LaBeouf, even with all his recent controversies and recent, allegations, really does deliver a really good performance here. I hope he gets back on track because he's actually a wonderful, wonderful uh, actor and a wonderful filmmaker. Um, I recommend I recommend Honey Boy to those who wanna kind of get to know Shia LaBeouf a little more, and I really hope he gets better, especially with those allegations against him. But yeah, Vanessa Kirby shines here. She does an amazing performance. Very raw, very emotional, not over the top, but still captures the moments of really pure grief and pure intensity that happens when you lose a child. Something that obviously I have never experienced and probably won't ever experience. Especially as someone who's not a female, those kind of things. But yeah, props to this movie. Um, Kirby won the best actress also at the Venice International Film Festival for this. So yeah, it's starting to get acclaim. Hopefully, she gets that Oscar nom. But the Oscars kind of the critics and audiences are so split nowadays with movies. But we'll see. But this is my number 10. I definitely recommend you to watch it if you want to be super intense. Number 9, Borat subsequent movie film. And this is a lighter one. This kind of a lighter one. A far cry from Pieces of a Woman. And yeah, and kind of very relevant to what's happening in modern society right now, especially Western society right now. Um, and I don't know what else to say about this. I mean, it's really iconic. You know what Borat, the first movie back in 2007, I think 2007, 2006. Um, that was really long ago, but even then, this movie still stands out. Sacha Baron Cohen delivers another amazing performance. Everything's really well written, really clever, really funny. Um, for some, if you're overly sensitive, this is not your kind of comedy. But even then, it's really good. Um, what was the name of the actress? I forgot. The one that played oh no, Maria Bakalova. She had a really interesting performance here. She's getting a lot of acclaim from audiences and critics also about how she performed there as like a very new. She's like kind of new on the face of Hollywood or in the face of cinema, and she really did. She's so funny here. Um, the entire movie is really funny. I feel like it was such a even though it was funny, it was still satirical in the sense it gave you a glimpse to how ridiculous some of the things that are happening in real life are. And I feel like with that, it's very impactful, very funny, very impactful, very relevant, and really well done here. Especially as I'm think found a mockumentary style kind of filmmaking. Um, and yeah, that's number 9. Number 8. This fell down my list after watching a bunch of the ones on the list, and that's Tenet. Tenet was like in my top 5, but then I watched a lot of other movies and I can slip down, but not to the fault of Tenet, but also to the to the credit of those other movies that I watched. And Christopher Nolan, really good job again with the writing. Still very confusing, um, but he did describe it as an experience. I feel like audiences nowadays we're used to being spoon fed and spoon fed the narrative, spoon fed the simplicity of how things are in a film. Christopher Nolan does a far cry from that here, and I was able to watch it online. But this would have been amazing in IMAX. Again, cinematographer Hoyte van Hoytema, really stunning shots, really nice, beautiful colors, and how they're able to capture the essence of the the elements in the story, that inversion, the time inversion thing with the red and the blue, and being able to um, demonstrate how that works in the film. I think it does it pretty well. Some people are still confused, not perfectly. That whole concept. Chris Nolan likes to play with physics and time and science and all of that. Um, and this one is kind of the most ambitious. the most daring. Not the most successful, but definitely the most interesting. And John David Washington and Edward Pattinson. Oh, Edward Pattinson. Robert Pattinson. Um, really good duo. Really fun to watch actually. Even though their characters are written kind of dry, especially with the protagonist like Washington's character not having a name. It's kind of just like an operative. So there's very little like emotional appeal for audiences, which is important. But I mean, if you think about it, if if you think about the movie more than you feel about the movie, I think you'd appreciate this, and it's really good. It's really good. Um, Hopefully, this is not something that goes. Um, Nolan can't make all these movies super confusing. He has to make a Dunkirk once in a while and Interstellar to some extent. This one, he went over the line. Not really over the line. He went all out for this with the writing and how he wanted to present the flow of time kind of aspect in this world that he created. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I definitely recommend this, and it's actually really good. It's actually really good. Really fun watch. Action scenes are actually really good here, and the performances again. Um, John David Washington learning how to fight backwards, talk backwards, and walk backwards and stuff. Also with like Elizabeth the Debicki and Kenneth Branagh. So all those things. So yeah, number 7 already. Yes, number 7 is Tenet. Now, Palm Springs. Number 6, Palm Springs. Really weird. One, two. Did I overcount? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. 10. Yes. Wait. One, two. Number 7. Sorry. My brain is not working. Number 7 is Palm Springs. Um, could be. This is my personal pick. This is my comedy of the year. This is really funny. Really unique take on like the whole groundhog concept, and Andy Samberg and Christine Milioti. They're really fun to watch. They're a fun duo, very light and very the chemistry is actually really real between their characters. Um, it's really this is a really good movie, and they didn't overdo the whole time loop kind of thing. Also because there's an emotional appeal like the love story between um Niles and Sarah. That kind of thing that stirred the pot in making this movie interesting. J.K. Simmons here was actually such a fun surprise. Like, I need a full movie of Andy Samberg and J.K. Simmons partying. I feel like that would be an amazing movie. Um, so I feel like this movie, directed by Max Barbaco, um, it's funny but also with sci-fi elements. I feel like to be able to weave together the sci-fi yet also a rom-com kind of elements within a movie, something that can either be a hit or miss. And I think for Palm Springs, it was really a hit. It was really a hit. Um, and it's just a fun movie to watch. If you it made me laugh too much. It made me laugh a lot. And if you want a comedy this year, Borat and Palm Springs is a really good one. So yeah, with that, number 7 is Palm Springs. Now, number 6, I'm Thinking of Ending Things, directed and written by Charlie Kaufman. Charlie Kaufman's a legend in the film industry. He's made a lot of work. Cinedoque in New York, Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind, also one of my favorite movies. Being John Malkovich, all those things. This is insane. I don't fully grasp the concept of this movie yet completely. It has to do something about like I guess reimagining your past and the what ifs of life. Um, and wow, this took you for a ride. This is insane. Jesse Plemons, Jesse Buckley, Tony Collette, um, amazing performances. They really embodied their character, and the confusion that Jesse Buckley's character, because in a sense her name shifts throughout the movie. Lucy, Lucia, Ames, all those things. It's kind of weird. I thought she was the main character. I mean, spoilers. I thought she was the main character, but it turns out, Jesse Plemons' character was Jake was the one that kind of was the whole. This the story was from him, and wow, this was actually a really good movie. Um, the cinematography is also really pretty here, even and taking place mostly in like a snow capped place, but inside the house, it captures that really eerie feeling of uncertainty, like you don't know what's happening. Think events are shifting from one thing to the other, back and forth from time. The ending was very beautiful. I feel like Jake was able to enjoy his life, or hallucinated that he enjoyed his life. Especially like the whole what if thing of being able to live life a different way. And wow, the dialogue, the screenplay, the writing, beautiful. Um, Even though you get confused in the events, like just the conversations that Jesse Buckley's character and Jake have, the one about a woman under the influence, John Cavasset's, um, they had the critique of that, and they went back and forth between like the role of women and like how cinema really works and is all those kind of things. The dialogue's really interesting, and it gives you a lot of clues into the story, but it doesn't give you enough. It doesn't make it predictable. It still leaves you on the edge of your seat. And to anyone looking for a really good psychological thriller or just a confusing movie in general, go ahead, watch I'm Thinking of Ending Things by Charlie Kaufman. So now, I cannot count to save my life. Number 5, Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always by Eliza Hittman. I'm kind of split on this in terms of the impact, or what it means to me. Just like Pieces of a Woman, I have no idea. I have no experience with like abortion at all. But the thing is, this movie's not really about abortion, or it doesn't make it seem that way. Sidney Flanagan, Talia Ryder, they excellent performances, being able to capture and represent the kind of uneasiness that they're feeling going throughout this whole journey to New York, and trying to get the procedure that he want that she wants. Um, it's a really good movie. Um, what else can I say about it? I mean, I don't want to like over talk about this just because I have very little experience with the content of the film. But as an audience member, as a watcher, um, it it's really powerfully directed. You Every scene captures what it needs to represent and needs to show through and also the performances. There's a certain sensitivity that the movie tiptoes with, because again, with the subject matter. But even then, Eliza Hittman is able to navigate um, that uncommon feeling that most audiences would have with this, and she does it with grace. Like, she doesn't try to make light of abortion and try to think that this is nothing about like abortion rights or whatever. It's really just about or to me, it's really just about togetherness and being there for someone, and the struggles that happen with like no one's there for you and you have to pick up after your own, and really a journey of struggle and a journey of certain challenges, especially as like a woman, especially in this context. That scene where where the doctors was asking, um when they were asking Autumn the questions about relating to her abortion, relating to her pregnancy, where it gets never really, sometimes always, where it gets a title that really broke me. Not really broke me, but it really struck to me just what she was going through. That she acted that scene so well, just the tears and the expressions on her face, like she does not know how to solve everything or solve this. She's doing the best that she can, and I think that's kind of like what the movie sums up. Just do the best that you can, especially with very uncomfortable and unfortunate circumstances. And Eliza Hittman's able to deliver that, and that is my number 5 film. All right, so halfway through top 5, and this is tough. I can't believe this is. Wait, I can't believe this is 4. Right? Wait, why do I keep forgetting the count? Yes, not 4. Um, number 4, Minari. This movie is amazing. It's basically a Korean family trying to live the American dream, and wow, this is, I don't know what it is with rural, southern, United States, but it's just really pretty. First off, this movie is really pretty, really amazing shots, really amazing color and lighting. Um, to be in rural Arkansas. I don't know. I'm not sure if they filmed it there, but it's cinematography is really insane. Directed by Lee Isaac Chung, starring Steven Yeun and Yari, Alan Kim, Noel K. Cho. Steven Yeun, man, oh my gosh, he delivers this performance with jaw-dropping grace and jaw-dropping sophistication. He goes out there and wrecks it. He is the dad. He is the patriarch of this family, and you can feel the burden that he has trying to provide for his family. And Steven Yeun demonstrates that with every single action he makes and every single word that comes from his mouth. Um, this is This is a really amazing movie. Uh, um, I don't know what else to say about this. This is just a fun. This is such a heartwarming watch. And if you, I guess perhaps if you've been in a similar situation, like being an immigrant and stuff, and being that struggle of trying to make something of yourself, even immigrant or non-immigrant somewhere, um, this is kind of the movie for you. The child, I forgot. Wait, what's his name? What is his name? Not Jacob. David. Alan Kim is David. He's adorable. The chemistry that he has with the grandma, really funny. Really enjoyable. Helps lift, makes the film a little lighter, especially with the certain conflict that um Jacob has with his wife. Jacob and Monica has with his wife, and just that ending, just that whole struggle, that whole journey that the movie takes us through, um, is really encapsulated beautifully. Lee Isaac Chung, I'm looking forward to more of your stuff in the future. And you made a beautiful film here with Minari, and I would definitely recommend everyone else to watch it. South Korean immigrants trying to make it in rural Arkansas, and what more do you want? Just a just a struggle of not a struggle, just a story of grit, just a story of resilience, just a story about family that doesn't really try to throw family morals at your face, but rather lets the performances, lets the screenplay do it for them. And yes, number 4, Minari. All right, number 3, another round, or Druk in Danish, um, directed by Thomas Vinterberg, who also directed a really good movie I like, which is The Hunt, uh, starring Mads Mikkelsen, Thomas Bo Larsen. Mads Mikkelsen, another beautiful performance here. I don't usually watch a lot of foreign language movies, but I heard about this from I don't know where, but I found out about it, and I was like, oh, why does it get high reviews? And I'm like, oh, Mads Mikkelsen and Thomas Vinterberg, which The Hunt, also another good movie. And yeah, it's basically about like 4 middle-aged high school teachers they're unmotivated. Their students are motivated. They want to spice up their professional life. So what they do is they they take this guy, psychiatrist, been scarred steroids, and um and they experiment with having a blood alcohol level of 0.0.05. It'll it'll make you more lax, make you more open, make you more creative, and it it tackles that theme of alcoholism, not lightly, not like it doesn't care about it, but towards the start, everything's all good. Like things are actually pretty enjoyable, really fun to watch. Magnificent delivers a beautiful performance, and but then obviously down the line, you see how that alcohol intake, no matter how gentle or how gracefully they try to navigate around it, it catches up to them. It catches up to them. Um, and sadly, one of sadly, someone suffers from it in the movie. Someone bites the dust from it in the movie. Um, but even then, um, the characters manage to um, manage to find the joy in life outside of alcohol. But even in the end, I mean, even in the end, it kind of flips itself backwards, like just for the sake of it, or just because life, it is life. Um, I guess the movie delivers a really poignant representation of I guess being stagnant in life and trying to fix that. And they resort to alcoholism, and even in the end, they kind of go back on that carefulness that they withdrew from it. But it really makes for a fun movie, though I don't recommend anyone to be um 0.05 blood alcohol content in the middle of the afternoon. And it's just a really beautiful movie. Um, kind of like a tragic comedy, and obviously a vintage magnificent performance. And it gives you a very strange and somewhat diabolical look at a midlife crisis, if I could sum it up that way. And yeah, that's number three. Number two, Kajillionaire. This movie came out of nowhere. This hit me like a truck. One of my favorite like influencers in cinema, Karsten Runquist. I saw it was in his like monthly watch list. By Miranda July, directed by Miranda July, starring Evan Rachel Wood, Deborah Winger, Richard Jenkins, and it's basically a crime family that kind of has their plans altered when someone else joins their schemes. And wow, first off, the screenplay is amazing. This writing, I did not know what's going to happen at all. Like it was so unpredictable, but at the same time so interesting because you wanted to see how it would unfold with the parents and with the new stranger joining their band, their I guess their gang. Evan Rachel Wood as the main character as old Dolio, old Dolio. Um, Amazing performance. She got lost in that character. She got lost in filming what old Dolio was and who she was and how she was brought up. You can feel the experience of old Dolio as if she was like a real person outside of the movie. It was amazing. And the whole writing, and all the writing and the dialogue, just the story, very original, very daring, very interesting, kind of like an espionage kind of heist kind of scheme to it. um Deborah Winger and Richard Jenkins as the parents, also a marvelous job being weird parents that kind of raised old Dolio in a weird way, and they were able, and being con artist parents, having that manipulative relationship and seeing that manipulative relationship unfold. Very interesting. Gina Rodriguez, she did pretty good. I didn't really pay close attention to her as much, though she did add another element of conflict within the story, within the narrative. But yeah, Evan Rachel Wood killed it. Miranda July killed it. Direction and writing, really good. really good. Hopefully this gets more. No, I hope this gets more acclaim. I know it's right. It's and the Golden Globes nomination came out and kind of flew under the radar. I hope it picks up a lot more steam. Just another beautiful movie. That's number two. That's number two. Number one, guys. And I just gotta wait. Where is it? I just gotta number one. My favorite movie of last year. Sound of Metal. Um, it said it was a 2019 American drama film, but it was released last year. Weird. Um, did I write that wrong? Um, yes, Sound of Metal. Directed by Darius Marder, also co-written by one of my favorite directors, Derek France, Blue Valentine, The Place Beyond the Pines. He co-wrote he co-wrote this with Darius Marder. Beautiful story, just very original, very captivating, like an immersive performances from Riz Ahmed, Olivia Cook, Paul Raci. Wow, those three. But Riz Ahmed delivers part performance of his lifetime. He should get the acclaim. I don't care what the Oscar biases are. He deserves it. Um, a drummer that loses his hearing. You'd think that the movie would be interesting because he loses his hearing. How interesting could it be? He can't say anything. He'd have to act. Um, but no. I'll give a props to the sound editing though. The sound editing here, um, that captures the deafness of um, not Lou, of Ruben. Amazing, amazing. It's not like the deafness that you see in war movies where it's like a really hurtful, like like that's kind of deafness, but rather that kind of eerie, silent deafness that makes your skin crawl. Like you don't want this to happen. Like you don't know why you're experiencing this, and you just want to get out of it. That's what it is at first, and but then beautiful ending towards the end. Um, they edited the deafness to be a lot more peaceful. It was a beautiful touch. Beautiful performance by Riz Ahmed being able to capture the whole ordeal that Ruben's going through. Just the raw emotion and the grace that he navigates a deaf character, or a character that loses his hearing, and being able to realize like the themes in the movie, like the themes that presented, like deafness is not a disability, and being able and that you're not handicapped, and that you can still create a life for yourself despite your physical impairments. Just a beautiful message. Olivia Cook as supporting, um, really does well here. She's kind of like that edgy rock singer, Lou. But then towards the end of the movie, you see her she kind of grows up without Ruben and kind of adjusts to a new life. And that takes its toll on Ruben, knowing that they've kind of drifted apart in that way. Sorry, I kind of spoiled this a little, but yeah, you know what I'm talking about these movies. So if you get spoiled, watch the movie so that you'll get what I'm saying and you'll enjoy it. Um, but yeah, that kind of conflict and Ruben's journey in trying to find peace with the fact that he's deaf and that his hearing's not coming back. I feel like that the ending was a really good cherry on top. Beautiful also again. The most of the movie takes place in like this in what do you call this? Like a shelter, a rural shelter somewhere again in like rural America, rural United States. It's just a really beautiful. I don't know why. Maybe I'm tired of looking at New York, Los Angeles, Chicago in movies or like cities and movies. That rural atmosphere of like Minari and Sound of Metal could there to some extent because they're not really in urban. They're kind of in the suburbs. Even another round. Um, really, really. I don't know. I really like the scenery. I really like that image that they provide us shooting these films there. Allows the characters to kind of operate outside of like the urban messiness that would happen if this was like in a big city or in a crowded, Times Square or Wall Street, whatever, all those things. But yeah, cinematography also really beautiful. Story really immersive, really interesting. I couldn't stop watching this. I watched it like 4 times. It's such a beautiful movie. Riz Ahmed is now on my radar for like actors. He just blew this role out of the park. He became Ruben, and we experienced everything with him. He was able to showcase that. So yeah, number one, Sound of Metal, amazing movie, my favorite of the year. And yeah, with that, I'll get into some quick honorable mentions. We're approaching 40 minutes. Let's hopefully keep us under hour. Um, honorable mentions. Nomadland, because I haven't watched it yet, and apparently it's technically coming out this year, 2021. It's the Small Axe anthology by Steve McQueen, who kind of broke out big with 12 Years a Slave. All are really good. Mangrove. I really like Lover's Rock. I feel that's my favorite. Lover's Rock. And then there's Red, White, and Blue. Pluto Education. But yeah, Lover's Rock, Mangrove, superb. He wrote and directed. Beautiful way of kind of developing this kind of thing, and developing this kind of I guess narrative, or this kind of storyline, having an anthology of West Indian immigrants in London in the 60s and the 80s. um Beautiful series. All movies are actually really good. One Night in Miami, Regina King's amazing direction, and that interesting what if on black icons, African American icons that made so much change and represented the best of the African American community, but also made it very personal. Even though I'm not from that context or from that culture at all, it was still a pretty fun watch. Devil All the Time, King of Staten Island, The Five Bloods, um, Hamilton, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Promising Young Woman's also really good. Bad Education, Hugh Jackman, also really good performance. And yeah, with that, so yeah, number one, Sound of Metal. Also to add on Sound of Metal, the way they filmed this, like Riz Ahmed having to go through having to learn how to play the drums, and having to learn, how to do sign language, shows his commitment and effort to the film. I loved him in that one like, was that Three Lions? I think it's Three Lions. Wait, Four Lions. Yes, Four Lions. That was a really funny movie. Yeah, but yes, with that, Sound of Metal, Gajillionaire, Another Round, Minari, Never Very, Sound of Always, I'm Thinking of Anything, Palm Springs, Tenet, Borat Substitute Film, Piece of a Woman, really good. I also recommend House of Hummingbird, another foreign film that's really good. First Cow is also really good. Um, and yeah, if I'm going on like cinematic technique, probably First Cow would get in here. Mank's also really good. David Fincher, uh, Gary Oldman's performance, superb. Um, well, not superb. Gary Oldman's performance is pretty good. Though that kind of never mind. It's okay. Just honorable mention. And what's it called? The Trial of the Chicago Seven is also really good. I'll recommend that. Honorable mentions. And with that, that is my top 10 movies of the year. Or no, my 10 favorite movies of the year. That's just my 10 favorite. I'm not gonna say top because that involves a level of like one is better than the other. But there's just not an order. Well, in order, kind of by my preference. So yeah, those are my picks. Thank you for tuning in to the podcast. Hopefully, we'll get. Please wait for more content. Stay tuned for more content, and I'm gonna still continue the IB Reflection series. Um, gonna continue the sports series here on YouTube, because the other platform needs to have a limit. It's so annoying. There's like editing stuff. Because it's YouTube, we have to make it at least somewhat presentable because it's just a video format. So yeah, there's that. Thank you again for tuning in. Stay tuned for the next one. Goodbye.